Hey guys, so I just got back from the college retreat a couple days ago, and I thought I would share about what the college retreat was, what we did, that sort of stuff. So the college retreat is for high schoolers and college students who feel called to go into ministry. Not necessarily everybody who wants to be a pastor or a worship leader. It can be anybody who feels called to minister, and I think that's everybody, so I think everybody should go. But it was really good. That's what the college retreat is about. When we got there, we got a sweatshirt, which is this sweatshirt that I got on. Got a name tag with the schedule. And then we got a 3-ring binder, a little notebook, and then a pen so we can take notes and stuff. And yeah, so that's all that. They also had an exhibit hall with some colleges and a camp. So for the retreat to go, it's in Arlington, Texas, and First Baptist there held it. I don't live in Arlington, so I went to my church, and then we made a 2-hour drive there in the bus. It was 2 or 3 hours, I'm not actually sure, but it was quite a while in a bus. And there was 5 other people, so we drove there, and then when we got there, they had this sign. I'm not going to do this for all the pictures that I'm going to show, but I'll just pop pictures up and videos up on the screen. But anyway, so there was a sign on the door, and so then we walked in, they gave us our name tag, we got our sweatshirts, and then we kind of just talked to people. We weren't assigned, our whole church wasn't assigned their own table, so all the youth had to mix in together, and I think it was really good to kind of put yourself out there instead of trying to just stay with your own church group people that you know. So we went in, and then I just want to make sure I keep this all straight because it was a lot. So we went in, and we, my church, we sat our stuff down at our table, and then we went to the exhibit hall and looked at all the stuff, and then they had snacks in there, so then we ate snacks too. And then they called us back into the main room, and we listened to a talk, or what they call a session, and that session was on Terah in the Bible, and how he wasn't called by God because he wasn't following the Lord, but he was on his way to Canaan from Ur, and he settled in Haran instead of following on to Canaan. And then later we see how Abraham followed the call of the Lord and went to Canaan. And so it just showed that even if you don't follow the Lord's calling, that God will use someone else, because God's will happen. And so then after that session, we had a little break, and then they announced that we had a special, what do they call it? A closing special event. And so I didn't even know we were going to have a special event or anything. So we got to see the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And I'm not big into sports, football, really nothing like that. And we got to go see the stadium. So there's just a bunch of pictures. I'll just show them all over the screen, just boom, 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 boom. But what was really cool, a picture that I have, is the turf. They changed the turf for high schoolers and for college, and then professional. And they have this machine, and it rolls it up, and then they put it in a section. So it was just really cool. And then after we saw the stadium and the field, we went back outside of the stadium, and we had ice cream. And I only have one picture, and it's really bad, but there you go. And then we headed to our hotel. My church headed to our hotel and slept for the night. I ended up going to bed at 11, and then we got up at 7:40 or 7. I got up at 6:30. But yeah, so not a lot of sleep, but enough. And so then we headed to the church. We grabbed Whataburger before we went to the church. So grabbed Whataburger, went to the church, then we had like worship, and then we listened to another session. I can't remember what that session was on. I can't remember exactly what order they all went in. But yeah, so we had that session. And then we had a little break, snacks, you know, that sort of stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at this little name tag so I can keep it all straight, because I'm telling you, it was a lot. But so yeah, then we had a break, and then we had another session, which this one was what they called TED Talks. So it was a bunch of different rooms. There were 6 different rooms to choose from. You could only choose 4 of the 6. I chose, instead of trying to remember them all, I'm just going to put them on the screen. So there you go. And then we had another break, and then we had a panel discussion. So the night before, we had written down questions that we wanted answered, and so 6 people went up on stage and answered some of the questions, not all of them, but some of them. And then after that, then we had lunch, and then we had what they call table talks, which is again, it was different rooms. I don't remember how many rooms it was. It was over, it must have been 8 or 9 rooms. And so those were some of the speakers, and then some people that weren't a speaker on the discussion panel. So I attended the one that was on girls ministry, and then one that was preschool and children's ministry. And then they had a ton of different ones, youth pastor, pastoral, music, camp, that sort of stuff. So those were about 15, 30-minute talks that you could listen, ask questions, that sort of stuff. And it was only about 11 people in a room or so. It really wasn't even that much. And then we had another break, and then we could go to a second one. So the first table talk that I listened to, I did the preschool one, and then the second one after the break, I did the girls ministry. And then we had a break, and then a closing session. So we had another speaker talk, and then we had worship, and then we went home. So yeah, that's kind of the overview of the retreat. After we did the called retreat, though, we drove home, and we ate at this place. It was called Rodeo Goat. I was trying to remember the name. I keep wanting to call it Scampy Goat, and I don't know why, but it's called Rodeo Goat, and it was so good. If you're ever in the Dallas area, you need to go. It's so good. But here's a picture. And yeah, for the most part, this video is going to be unedited. So this is me. This is real. Just talking about the called retreat. So if you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment with any questions you might have about the called retreat. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.